Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to be here on Rasmus TV with Banshee and another game from the Starladder Pro Series. This is going to be Aftershock Gaming going up against London Conspiracy. And frankly, this, if you're going to tune into one game of the Starladder Pro Series, this is the one you have to tune into. Because frankly, if I was to say, out of all these group stages, you know, you've got Denial, you've got MYM. If you were to say, name me two of the top three teams that are going to be in the top three after all this, these two would be in my top 5 easily for possibly even just winning the entire thing. And that isn't saying this lightly, as in this is a stacked tournament coming out from the Starladder Pro Series. You've got BBC, you've got Denial, you've got MYM, you've got Aftershock, London Conspiracy, lots of really good teams, and I think that one of these two could be the ones to go take it. Now we are going to see the first picks and bans coming out, and well, Aftershock, they're going to pull out some really interesting first pick, first bans. Going to be a Viper and a Bat Rider getting pulled out. So they really don't want that lockdown slow coming in. And the real, not Viper, Venomancer. And that's the real interesting pick right there. The Venomancer. The Venomancer is not a first pick, first ban hero. He's not really a hero that says... He's not really a hero that does much in terms of, you know, in the current competitive standings of which hero is the most picked and most banned. Meaning that to ban those out really suggests that they don't want to deal with that slow, they don't want to deal with that dot magic damage. Which just makes sense if they picked up a Slok. As in Sloks do to some extent, you know, you can't dark packed off the Venomancer ultimate. You can't dark packed off a lot of the stuff coming out from Venomancer. Now on the other side though, we see slightly more usual bans. Brewmaster and Razor. Sure, anyone who's watched any amount of competitive Dota in the last... like... ever, knows why those two heroes have been banned and picked at the moment, so no real reason to explain those, and the Ogre Mage and Jakiro, possibly the two best supports in the game right now, as a Scarlet Mage and Vengeful Spirit also fit in there with the Ancient Apparition in that, like, top 5, these are supports we really like to pick, kind of, lineup. Now, in terms of bans, the real interesting thing is this Zeus ban. Now, the Zeus ban's coming out because they really don't want that nuke early game AoE damage, that where Slok jumped on someone, Zeus pops his ultimate, Ancient Apparition pops his ultimate, and then someone dies. And in return, we do see the Nature's Prophet getting picked up. That's a little bit dangerous against the Slok, because the Slok can isolate and take down Nature's Prophet, especially later on, when the Slok has managed to pick up a lot of farm with his Basher and his Pistol Blade. But at the same time, Nature's Prophet does have an advantage in the sense of that the Slok's tether doesn't actually disrupt the teleportation that he has. Meanwhile, we also have the Death Prophet getting banned out, obvious reasons why, and the Scarlet Mage. But the Anti-Mage also getting banned out from Aftershock Gaming, so that's also an interesting ban. Now, honestly, not 100% sure why. Yes, Anti-Mage, to me that tells me that they're looking to go for a strong late to mid game, and possibly the strongest mid to late game hero you've got is Anti-Mage. He's very, very weak in the early game and very, very weak in the late game, but in between all that, he is very, very strong. As we are going to see a Lycan getting pulled out, and this is now Team Push coming out from London Conspiracy. Lycan, Nature's Prophet, and Jakiro, towers are going to melt. With Liquid Fire, possibly, literally. On the other side, though, we do see the Bane, which is more lockdown. And this Lycan is going to be a bit careful. If he gets caught by either the Slok or the Bane, he could very easily go down, ultimate or no ultimate.
10 seconds remaining.
And Aftershock Gaming, well, if they can pick up another mid hero that has that lockdown, maybe something like a Puck, the ability to counter a lot of these pushes, or possibly even a Tide to, you know, make it so they win the team fights that London Conspiracy are going to be trying to force in this later game. Because obviously, if you're going for a push strategy like this, that's what you're really trying to do. You're trying to force team fights. You're trying to basically say, you have to deal with us, or we're going to take all your towers, and you're going to lose because you have no map control. Now, this is taking Aftershock a little bit of time, as that Lycan pick kind of highlighted exactly what London Conspiracy are doing. And right now, they're kind of lacking wave clear. As in, if you come up against like Nature's Prophet Treants, they don't really have any way to deal with them. Like, Slok's got his Dark Pack, but that's not the greatest way to wave clear. And Ancient Apparition, he can maybe ultimate, but that's also terrible. And Bane's even worse than the previous two I mentioned. And so, They are actually taking a lot of their reserve time. In fact, we're going all the way down to 22 seconds. Going to be a Visage coming out.
Radiant team
now that is, I say that is super risky, but if they can get that team fight damage off, they can get the stuns, if they get the huge nukage onto these very, very squishy heroes, as even Lycan is pretty squishy if you can lock him down with the Bane or the Slog, then we could see, you know, this work out for Aftershock. On the other hand, though, the Conspiracy, they're just going to be wanting to barrel down on these towers, and it's going to be very difficult right now for Aftershock Gaming's lineup to deal with that.
10 seconds.
Now the band right now is going to be coming out for Aftershock, and as bans go, there's not really a lot of heroes left that you want to ban against. Probably still a mid-hero that they need to deal with. You know, they should profit on the off lane. You've got Lycan on the safe lane carry, although he could go mid himself. And they are going to ban out that Jakiro, going to ban out that Shadow Shaman, just making sure there's no more push. As it wasn't intentionally out of grasp that London Conspiracy could pick up that Shadow Shaman. They're going to pick up a Sven instead. So they're really saying, London Conspiracy, if we don't win this in the first 30 minutes, and we don't have all your towers down and start taking down your base, then we're in a lot of trouble. Because Sven, he's one of those heroes that, yes, in a perfect situation, he can outcarry anyone. His god strength is godly. Pun slightly intended. But at the same time, he kind of scales off a little bit because he gets kited around so badly. As his BKB charges start running away, as Slark picks up Abyssal Blades, and it does start to get a little bit difficult to get that damage out that God Strength deals. Sven, as we do see Aftershock Gaming, they're sat here on their last pick, and this is going to be very, very close. Only 1 second left. It's going to be a Timbersaw coming out, and I do like that to some extent. It's like, he's got to be careful he doesn't get picked up or picked off, but at the same time, if he doesn't get initial stun by Ogre Magi Jakiro into Sven, then he should be able to survive practically everything on the side of the Conspiracy. On the other hand, but I do have to say, I prefer London Conspiracy's lineup right now. They've got a solid game plan coming out to just simply push down towers, and yes, it got nerfed in the last patch, or last 3 patches ago, 6.82, the initial, but episode 1 of 6.82, the Empire, the Phantom Menace, was, you know, it nerfed pushing strategies quite a bit. That doesn't mean that pushing strategies are bad anymore, it just means that they're no longer the default game-winning move, because people realize that tower pushing gold was broken. Either way, though, we are going to be going live with this game. There's not going to be any pause. Someone hold my hand, I'm scared. So let's go right into this. We are going to be going into a pause. Damn it, I jinxed it, didn't I? I just went off and jinxed it. Oh well, I apologize everybody at home for jinxing the lack of pause. It means now we're going to have to wait. This is Dota telling me that I should not ever mock its name and mock its mercy, for it will destroy you. Either way though, let's go into these two teams, as we do have, sitting here playing on Ogre Magi, we've got Skanks. The Sven's going to be played here by Madra. The Jakiro going to be played by Relax XX, with the Nature's Prophet going to be played by Spartan, and last but not least, the Lycan, the carry in this game, is going to be played by Kesa. On the opposite side though, we do have Aftershock. We've got Anti-Mage, he's going to be played by Maguna. Mind Control going to be playing the Visage. Zero G on the Bane. Kefka on the Timbersaw. And last but not least, picking up that Slog, it is going to be Jalopy. Sounds slightly better when I say it like that. And we do have that usual beginning of game pause, so yeah, nothing interesting happening. We do have cute little chicken curry on one side. Look at little Chocobo. And on the other side, bug thing. That's also cute. Like a dung beetle, but with a bag. Not quite as cute when you think about it. I'm really looking at these two sides. if Aftershock can hold on, if they can get like the Aghanims onto Visage, the Aghanims onto Bane, or maybe not even the Aghanims onto Timbersaw, the Aghanims onto Ancient Apparition, as in, this is literally an Aghanims team coming out right now from Aftershock. As in, Aghanims is viable in all those heroes. If they can get all of those on, if they can get the Fog, if they can get the Abyssal Blend, the Slug, if you can get Snowball out of control, then maybe they've got an opportunity. But I'd say that it's a lot easier for London Conspiracy with the picks we're seeing right now, just simply because they're lacking, apart from on the Timbersaw, who was actually a pretty good pick as the last ability to push back those waves and counter the Nature's Prophet to some extent. He is a little bit difficult. Easier to pick up the heavier it gets. Carries? But either way, we are going to be sitting here as Kaiser is going to Kefka is going to be sitting here and just simply using his lovely riddles, playing a little bit of the Riddler in this game. Does that just shout out to women or just someone in particular? A little bit like shouting out to people. But either way, I've kind of ran out of stuff to say about this beginning early game. Because again, like I said in the last game, we had this pretty big long initial pause. It is always a bit annoying to try and fill out the time for you lovely people watching at home, either in the Twitch TV ticket or at home watching on the Twitch TV channel. It is always a little bit hard to fill up the time, just simply because, you know, there's not very much to talk about at the state of the game. Like, their positioning's not like off, they're not losing a team fight right now, their towers aren't being threatened. Literally nothing is happening. Lycan went to Stout Shield first. GG, well played. We have our effigy with weird bug, as in, it is a little bit interesting bug where kind of parts of effigies are kind of not stone, as that's kind of supposed to be the entire point of. I've actually still got two of my two effigies I picked up from buying that international buck thing. But at the same time, I haven't really, you know, found a good pose or thing to wear that I really want to show off yet. Huh, both the two teams have a Morphling. Actually, the same set. Oh, I wonder if that's because that's the set I wear. If that's like messing it up and showing it because I'm a spectator. But either way, whether it is or not, we are actually finally going to be going into this game live between London Conspiracy and Aftershock. This is going to be our last game of the day in the Starladder Pro Series. This is going to be Banshee casting solo on Rasmus TV, and let's get ready for it. Let's get ready to rumble. As we are seeing a little bit of aggressive move coming out right now. In fact, this could be an aggressive tri-lane coming out for London Conspiracy, and this is a very nice idea, as they do have a lot of kill potential with this tri-lane. You put the Nature's Prophet on the bottom, although he does have an matchup against Timbersaw, and then have the Lycan here on middle. It looks like that's where he's going to be going. Lycan going up against that Visage, which I do feel probably is in favour of Visage, but only slightly, as we are actually going to be seeing a possible initiation coming in. Magana is going to be a gunner, and there's going to be even more kills coming out right now. Zero G is going to have to get out of there.
You got some on you.
And yeah, we saw right there that the Ancient Apparition, he dove a little bit too deep, a little bit too far, and he got punished for it. That's going to be a nice first blood coming out from London Conspiracy, and that is not the start that Aftershock needed. Not with the team lineup they've got compared to London Conspiracies. Giving them additional levels, giving them additional pain is not what you want to see. And this is actually going to be right now, a 2 versus 3 lane. Surely we're going to be seeing the someone join them up here on top. Maybe the Jakiros. We do see actually the Nature's Prophet just placing those wards. More like a support nation. never seen a sport Nature's Prophet use. Invis is on that Ogre Magi. They may be going for even more kills there. Magana could be another gunner again. He's going to have to be super careful. In the meanwhile, though, do we see the Slark? They could counter this. They've got a lot of nukage on the opposite side, but they don't only have that Nightmare. As we do get the harassment coming out from Skanks. And right now they know it's a dual lane. But this dual lane, I think, is where all the action is going to end up happening. Just because these other lanes, I don't think Visage is going to be able to kill Lycan, and Lycan isn't going to be able to kill Visage without Visage making a huge mistake. While on this lane, well, Timbersaw is going to have a sad time. In fact, he's going to have to be in a little bit of trouble right now. He's going to have to try and get out. His reactive armor, it does nothing against fire. It isn't reactive to flames, only to being punched. But either way, I do think it's this top lane where the biggest possibility of kills is going to end up happening, but the Jakiro is going to be a little bit careful. I mean, the Timbersaw is going to have to be a little bit careful against the Jakiro. Yes, his reactive armor helps us, and he's currently got 4 stacks of that practically on permanently. But at the same time, it looks like we're seeing dual lanes right now because of London Conspiracy. They want to get early tier 1s. They don't want to wait for Nature's Prophet to get to his farm and his levels. They just want to go, well, we'll get 2 level 3s and just simply go push down this tier 1 tower. And there's nothing you can do about it because you're a Timbersaw. What are you going to do against fire? Nothing. That's what. Meanwhile, do you see this possible initiation coming up here on top? The Magana, he's going to get taken out. Nature's Prophet is going to get slowed up, but this could be a huge mistake coming out for Slark. He's got Dark packed up at the same time. There is 1 stun left in Ogre Magi. As we see the right clicks coming in from Sven, doing a huge amount of damage. And Nightmare going to be traded around as Spartan Herd being in a bunch of trouble. It looks like he's going to go away nice and safely. Kind of going to have to run off in the opposite direction from the jungle. Sven also going to have to scatter, as we're just seeing the rest of the Legion Commander, all of them taking different paths, making sure they can't take any of them down. And that is going to be 2 for nothing right now, as this Sven picks up yet another kill. I mean, the Nature's Prophet picks himself up a kill. Very nice stuff right there. And Sven, a little bit lucky right there, found a regen rune and was like, well, I guess I'll come back into the fight with full mana and health. That's pretty awesome. Going into that, he's going to go back to farming, and he's actually doing a pretty good job of it. 7 and 3, which, considering that he's against a Slark who's in a tri-lane, that's actually very, very good for him. Especially considering his 2 assists. You know, this is far better. As actually, we do see the Courier to get killed right there. Nature's Prophet, taking the bottle right now of Visage, and it looks like they may be trying to go on the Visage, as Visage are going to be hugely disappointed right now. Very nice move there by the Nature's Prophet, getting that timing down perfectly. And it looks like they want to go for timing even more right now. The Sprouted does nothing really against the Timbersaw, but he's taking a huge amount of harassment and getting right click down, being forced back. He did get level 2 in reactive armor to make sure he's going to regen back up pretty quickly, but at the same time, this is not a fun lane for him, not against Jakiro, who's already got level 2 in Liquid Fire, already got level 2 in Dual Breath. In the meanwhile, we do see another kill there going out onto the Ancient Apparition. It is a 1-for-1 trade though, onto the Sven as well, and the Ogre Magi is going to surely soon fall after. That is going to be 2 kills there coming out for Aftershock. So, good stuff there, getting their first 2 kills on the board. And a nice swing in their advantage.
The seeds of fortune.
As we see, Nature's Prophet is going to pick up the Bounty Rune, kind of forcing the Timbersaw back.
Invisibility.
Although he's going to pick himself up a nice Invis Rune. That's going to be, he's going to be able to get a little bit of experience without being harassed out. But the Jakiro, well, he's just going to try and keep pushing down this tower. As in, the tower is already around about only 300 health down, but it was only level 1 Liquid Fire, now it's level 3. I'd say level 3 and level 4 is where that thing starts to hurt towers, where it starts to melt them down, where they start to just feel the pain, feel the burn. Or players start to feel the pain, feel the burn, especially as it's a cooldown that gets removed that really helps that skill. Meanwhile, we haven't actually had a quick look in this mid lane, as apart from a courier kill, nothing's really happened, as Lycan is, you know, doing okay, as in, he's doing better than I thought he would against a Visage, who would have that slow ability, as obviously using those wolves and microing them around to get the blast hits. Meanwhile, Visage also doing pretty well in terms of farming. So, nothing real interest going on there. Maybe once the Visage hits level 6, but not quite yet. In fact, he's been set behind pretty hard because of that courier kill. In the meanwhile, we do see a Sun going out onto Bane, but he's not going to do anything else, as the meanwhile, Slark, he does get ignited up. He's going to run away. In fact, jumping onto Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet sitting there. He's going to dot packed up. It's not going to be enough. Nature's Prophet takes him out, and that is going to be another kill there coming out from London Conspiracy. Just showing you don't need the fancy, like, as we do actually see that Zero-G trying to go in for a kill right now to the Yoga Magi. He's going to get the Nightmare off. Will it be enough to get the tick off? No, it won't be. They're going to swap it off at the right moment. In the meanwhile, we do see a Slark trying to go in for a kill onto Sven. The Cold Fiend not going to last. In fact, Sven, the Slark's going to have to be in a super bit of trouble. As Ogre Magi all of a sudden kind of regrets his decision running back there. But his stun was very much required. And the Nature's Prophet also going to get away. Just look at the constant juking coming out from the Conspiracy in the top lane. As the first tower does go down here in the bottom lane. While Nature's Prophet going to be trying to TP away. TPing up top, but kind of into the enemy creeps. Not the best situation. As they still know he's there, but they're not going to chase him. While Jakiro, he continues, he starts his pushing. He's got level 3 in Liquid Fire. Didn't go for a level in Macro Pyre, instead getting a level in his stun. As soon as he gets level, his next level, that's where the pushing got even further. Looks like he's going to want to start harassing down this tier 2 as, you know, right now Timbersaw can't really do anything against the fire. It burns, it bites, it freezes. While meanwhile, Lycan does have a haste rune, so Visage can be in a bit of trouble. As Visage is going to be a little bit annoying, just right-clicking down, getting the harassment out, using his familiars. Obviously, he is able to micro them a little bit better than I'm able to, while we do see a possible TP attempt coming out here onto Slark. Slark jumping into his own jungle before realizing that's a... Yoga realizes that's actually a terrible mistake. Gonna be trying to avoid and get out of there. In fact, everyone's gonna get alive. Like a happy Disney ending where everyone is a winner. In the meanwhile, we do see Slark. Well, he's actually not doing very well right here. It's 20-6 versus 19-5 Sven. But remember, Sven had the 2 versus 3 lane. So in all reality, Aftershock should have won this lane pretty hard. And the fact they didn't does hurt. And a little bit due to the fact that Nature's Prophet doing a very good job in terms of ganking and helping with this top lane. You'll see Nature's Prophet making sure there's no pulls coming out. But the Slarky is going to be waiting. But the Slarky is a bit worried. Ward is going to go out. Did they spot that? I am not quite certain if they did. But they are going to spot as soon as he hits level 6. But it looks like when going to him, we see Lycan is going, running in, he's popped his ultimate. The leap's going to come out. No Raxit coming out now, but now the damage is going to get started on Sven. He's going to just get nuked down, diving behind that tier 2 tower. And this is why Lycan is just so powerful. Using that pretty awesome form. Not quite sure what item that is, but it's an awesome one. The tower is going to end up going down right here. Very little that Aftershock can do, and that's going to be another tower going down. Only the tier 1 here on middle left. And if we have a quick look at the experience, it's currently 1.5k in favor of London Conspiracy with a 5k gold difference. These kills really coming in handy up here on top. Now we are seeing a possible 3-man gank coming out here onto Nature's Prophet. He's going to be super duper careful. Nature's Prophet has just positioned himself so that the Bane has to run through his tree so he knows exactly where the opposing supports are. And he's going to be more than safe right now. Looks like he's going to be TPing bottom. They might be trying to go for the Timbersaw. Not going to happen.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Lycan wants a Visage now. Well, Visage, he did have mid. He's got a pretty fast level 6. I think now he needs to use it ASAP before this game gets out of control and he loses even more towers. They've still got the tier 1, but at the same time, we see Jakiro, he's starting to do damage against his tier 2, and the Nature's Prophet, they're not going to let up. They're not going to hold. They're not going to wait. They need to make something work pretty soon. You see the Visage doing a pretty good job. He's not going to get the stomp off on one, so he already loses one of those familiars, which is a little bit of a shame, as it looks like they are going to go for the stun. This is a very dead dragon thing. He'll go down, and they're going to take the tier 1 as well. Yes, they can pop fortification to delay it for a little bit, but that's not going to do very much. Not against the amount of pushing power, and we're 10 minutes in, and they're already starting to take tier 1s and tier 2s. Is this 6.81 again? Meanwhile, we do see that Bane does pick up a nice kill here onto bottom. The Jakiro pressing a little bit too aggressively without the rest of his team, but at the same time, they don't care. I think they've already got their Vlads, they've already got their aura, meaning they could just keep continuing this push, keep the sustain, and just keep nuking them down. Nation Apparition, he's not level 6 yet, meaning they can't do anything about that. The TPs are going to come in, they're going to have to stop this at some point, but the Visage is going to be a huge amount of trouble. The stun and Ignite comes off, the second stun as well, but the Timbersaw just nukes him down, making that a 1-for-1. You're going to go try and do a little bit for more of this towers. The Lycan's going in for the right click, where he has now been enfeebled, meaning he doesn't really have a lot of damage right now. Sitting only on 92. But either way, that is going to be 9-5. As Aftershock, they actually defend the tower. They defend the tower, they get a 1-for-1 trade. Probably slightly in their favour, considering that they're trying to hold on for the late game to give their Slark a chance to carry them. This Timbersaw did a pretty good job as well, getting that nuking damage out. A lot of people do forget just how good he is at nuking people down in the face. Especially at level 11, once he gets his level 2 chakram. Now while this is happening, Lycan is farming the enemy ancients. Because he's got a haste rune, and let's face it, he's a Lycan. So why not? Going for that very fast Necro. And let's face it, that's what Lycan was always going to go for. Going to go for that Necro, just simply go, push in as much as he can. And as fast as he can. Visage is going to get harassed a little bit. As we see, the Lycan's going to pop his haste. He's going to dodge the stun, or not so much dodge it as just not go for it. In the meanwhile, these two are looking for possible action. The Nature's Prophet and Jakiro, but they are going to find 3 players right here. In fact, they're also going to get their ward dewarded. So a very nice job there coming out from the support of Aftershock. And Aftershock right now, they need to get the pick off, they need to get the ganks, and they do manage to pick up the Nature's Prophet right there, just as I said. And the Timbersaw, he wants more. He wants more action. As they do kind of know where at least one player is, and they are going to spot this Ogre Magi. Ogre Magi could be in a huge amount of trouble. In the meanwhile, with Ancient Apparition is getting targeted up here on the bottom, and he may go down to the Jakiro, but at the same time, the Timbersaw just chasing up with the Ogre Magi. That's really the strength he has. He does get the pounce. The Stomp is going to come in time from the Visage, and that is going to be a nice escape there coming out from the Ogre Magi. Meanwhile, we see Hero continuing to be annoying, continuing to harass down this tower, already taking it below half health. While Ancient Apparition was forced back due to the huge amount of fire damage, as the first level of Necro does come out for Lycan. And the tier 2 tower on middle at the same time. This is starting to look bad for Aftershock. We have a quick look at the golden experience. The gold is mostly what's hurting them. Giving them items like the, Nation Prophet has mostly been playing support, so, yeah. But giving the stuff like the Necro on the Lycan. If I have a quick look at the net worth, we do see he is actually the top 3 highest players are all on the same team, as Lycan's going to pick himself up another kill there onto the poor Visage. But this Visage pick just hasn't worked out at all for Aftershock. They haven't really done anything with it. They haven't got off a good stun. Their summons haven't really been annoying against supports. It's often felt like a wasted pick so far in this game. Hopefully that can change. And Slark's going to try and get out of there, and the stun is going to stop him. Very, very nice use of the trees as he's kind of stuck. They are going to eat through the trees though. Is he going to leap away? Can he get out? Probably not. The stun's up in a few more moments. Lycan going for the block with the wolves. And he is going to be able to Shadow Dance though. So that means that Slark will get away. But he uses Shadow Dance, a very important cooldown. And that means they forfeit this tier 2 tower. They can't, this Slark can't go in again. We see that a little bit of positioning coming out from the London Conspiracy, making sure the Slark is forced back, although the Ogre may have delved a little bit too far. He just gets the stun off, trying to get out. The Dark Path is going to remove that stun. And meanwhile, the Lycan coming in, and the Ancient Apparition will finish off that Ogre. Very nice stuff right there, as the Lycan is getting controlled up, and they may actually take down the Lycan. This is actually a pretty big kill right now, considering the amount of gold that is on him. That's going to be a 2 for nothing. Almost a 3 for nothing, but the Nature's Prophet had a little bit more health than what the Visage really needed. Either way, though, that is going to be all the tier 2 towers that are going down, as it's only 14 minutes in. My god, is this 6.81 again? Someone should tell London Conspiracy there was a patch. Well, patch or not, it seems to be working pretty well for them, as they've just went full push. They went full push, and Aftershock went no wave clear. And meanwhile, we do see Bane is going to pick up that kill to Jakiro, but Timbersaw should fall in a few moments. The stun will follow him, just twisting in midair. Ben is like, I don't care about physics, I have money. Ben does actually have quite a bit of money, sitting here on second highest farm. He's managed to pick up his Blink Dagger, got his Power Treads. He's also got his God Strength. He's going to pick up a double damage with his bottle, and that is... You know, if you get a double damage on Sven while he has God Strength, bad things happen. That's basically plus 400% damage. Although it looks like they have given the double damage to Lycan, filling up his bottle a little bit. As they are just going to go for this Roshan attempt. Just look how just look how fast it's falling. I'm going to try and say actual words. Stun is going to come out from Jakiro. They know it's happening. Well, obviously they know it's happening because he's on the same team. I'm going to try and pay attention.
Has fallen to the Radiant.
As the smoke is also going to come out after that, they're going to look for a gank, and this could be a very devastating push right now.
Dire's bottom
Bane,
tower
going to
is
be the
under
first victim, going to get stunned up, going to dodge a Timbersaw, and looks like they just don't care, locking up Hopper's ultimate. First one going to go down to the ancient apparition. Meanwhile, the supports are getting killed in the background. The TP scroll, or the buyback from ancient apparition, probably not going to do very much, as he's already popped his ultimate, and that's going to be 3 kills coming out there. Might even be a dieback of Morgana. And Timber going to be able to get out by the skin of his teeth, or the rust of his blades. Yes, that kind of also works as well, but either way, this tier 3 tower is going to go down. They do have fortification, but they've got no one else left to defend it. The ancient apparition is dead, the Visage is dead, the Bane's dead, the Clark is trying to split push, but he can't really split push that fast, and Timber, he can do harassment, he can do annoyance, but if he goes too close, he will get killed, he will get destroyed. Especially considering in the base there is a lack of trees. And meanwhile, Lycan, he's got double damage, he's almost going to just nuke down that Slog. He was forced to use that Shadow Dance almost immediately, and the melee racks does go down. That's absolutely huge right now. You see the ancient apparition all going to run out, and it's going to hit 2 right now, missing that Nature's Prophet. And the Lycan, he will finally get taken out. He doesn't have his form anymore, he's just getting nuked down. And they could get some return kills in favor for that to tier 1. Meanwhile, though, we do see Sven picks up a kill. Gets that Visage, while Slog does pick up the Jakiro, and looks like Sven, he wants to pick up another one, just running in, right-clicking down. Lovely play there coming out from Madra. Madira, as we see Sven, he's looking, he's waiting, he's going to get the stun, another one coming in. He had no business getting those kills, but somehow he managed to. He's going to TP out, also survive, and that's absolutely huge right there, as they were in full retreat, and Sven just came in with an amazing play, picked up 3 kills. Nature's Prophet TPing in at the top, getting another one. He may give his life for it, but at the same time, he is going to try and get out. The Visage familiars, though, show exactly where he is. Ancient Apparition all going to miss completely. And that is going to be, well, probably a 4 for 3 in the end. Well, no, 4 for 4 in the end, but at the same time, very worth it for London Conspiracy, as they picked up the melee racks, the most important racks, the king racks, compared to the queen ranged racks. Yeah, I really need to think my metaphors up before I start them. But, terrible metaphors and casting aside, we are currently 20 and 13 in favor of London Conspiracy. 1 set of racks almost down, and they're just going to go back to pushing. Because, frankly, at this moment, this is where they're the strongest. Yes, Lycan doesn't really have a lot of survivability, but he doesn't need it. He just needs all his creeps. He just needs the creeps, needs his ultimate, needs the Howl and the Feral Impulse. And that's all that is wanted. To go off and basically just take down all the towers. We see a smoke attempt coming out. And this Timbersaw is in so much trouble. He's going to get the Yules up. Stun going to come out, more than sane. Can they get the lockdown? Only 1 stun going to come out, and he's going to try and get away, but the stun is going to chase, and Ogre Magi getting that last tick of Ignite. And this Lycan, well, they're going to start pushing down this top tower now. And meanwhile, it looks like that, well, there is a little bit of a scramble to try and defend. They can't lose 2 sets of racks. 2 sets of racks is basically GG only 18 minutes into the game, because, again, I know some of you, like me, right now, are just realizing what the time actually is. Maybe a bit confused, considering the fact that, you know, we have racks down. We've got a Lycan pushing and being strong. We've got awesome team fights coming out. And it's only 90 minutes into the game. You see Sven's Slog's going to get forced back. The Ancient Apparition ulti is going to be pretty good. It's going to hit 2. In fact, including the Lycan. And Lycan may be in a bunch of trouble. He's going to get nuked down, going to pop his ultimate, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to get nuked down. Meanwhile, though, Lycan's going to be using his creeps to do a lot of damage here to all the supports. Look, Morgana, he's getting taken out by the creeps. You know, revenge from Lycan, even beyond the grave. And while that happens, Bane also ends up going down. And we see Sven, he's going to get stun off, he's going for a right click, doing huge amounts of right clicks with that God Strength. He's going to be trying to kite around these familiars and TPing away. Not going to get the stomp off in time, and he's going to get away nice and safely. In the meanwhile, Ogre Magi is going to pick up another kill there on to the Timbersaw. Timbersaw is going to basically rebuy back immediately, and this is going to be London Conspiracy getting back ASAP, but that was a huge team fight coming out from them. Jakiro basically going to be the sacrificial lamb. He's just sitting there like, this is my life now. And the Apparition ultimate is going to be pretty good, as the TP isn't going to be used.
Dire's top
See
barracks are under attack.
Nature's Prophet desperately trying to dodge, desperately trying to juke. Can he get out?
Dire's
Yes, he
middle
can.
tower is
Barely
under
at the
attack.
last moment, and that is going to be a very, very safe Nature's Prophet, as Timber must be a bit annoyed, especially considering the fact he used his buyback to try and pick up a kill like that. And while that's happening, we see a possible counter count coming out from London Conspiracy. It did get stopped by this very nice ward coming out here. But at the same time, London Conspiracy are way ahead right now. 12k net worth. And reality, just look at this Lycan. The Slog's doing a pretty good job, in fact, of keeping up to some extent with the rest of the heroes in the game. But it's really this Lycan that's doing all the work with his pushing, with all his... He's going for a BKB now, so it's going to be even harder to kill. Which means that the only way they're going to be able to stop him is simply this Bane ultimate. And even then, the Bane ultimate, it does magic damage. It's, although the stun is spell piercing, the damage isn't. It means it's going to be very difficult for them to kill this Lycan with his 10-second BKB. While this is happening, we see the constant pushing in coming out. We see Sven going in for a kill. Gonna get the stun off, but the Slok gonna dodge it with the Shadow Dance, and he has been able to pick himself up with Sanjin Yasha. The Slok off to a very good start. Gonna jump in onto Nature's Prophet. He's getting nuked down. Very nice stuff. And meanwhile, Sven going in for more, and they're gonna just go in for a little bit of tower damage. Sven gonna get out, popping his BKB as the Academic Scepter did get popped out on the Visage. Visage trying to do work with the Lycan. He's just running around, kiting them with his ultimate. And he's just gonna go for racks. We see the one set of racks going down. The second one gonna be soon to follow. Trying to dodge all the stuns, and he will be able to do so. Slot desperately trying to get out of there with his Dark Pact. He is going to be able to make it out alive, probably.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And that's going to be another set of racks going down right there. And possibly even the Visage. As that's always a shame right there. Visage is going to get going down. Slot does get one in return, but he's just in so much trouble. Going to get stunned out. The GG well played gets called. And that was a 22-minute game, people. As London Conspiracy, they had a strategy, they had a plan. They counterpicked Aftershock so hard by just simply turning up and going, well, you don't have a lot of wave clear, so we're going to go full-on push. Try and stop us. And sadly, they weren't able to stop us. As that means London Conspiracy, that is actually a huge win for them in this tournament. Because out of all the teams, these two are the two top teams that I would consider the possibility of getting through into that Star League next season. And that means if we have a quick look at how the current standings are, as soon as the webpage loads up, we do see that that means that to London Conspiracy, they're going to go for to top position right now with 5 wins and 0 losses, while Aftershock, they're going to get knocked down slightly, I think, to 7th. As there were 3 wins, there now will be 3 wins and 1 loss. So that 1 loss being their first one. In fact, both of them were undefeated before this. Both of them definitely in a position to, take this entire tournament. Out of all the contenders here, there's definitely probably around about 6 teams that I'd say are contenders. Section 8 to BBC, London Conspiracy, Aftershock, MYM, and House of Gamers. And beating one of the other 6 contenders is a very big thing at this stage in the tournament. Still though, this has been Banshee Casting Hero Erasmus TV. If you enjoy what we do, you can definitely follow us on Twitch TV, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You can find all of the links on our Twitch TV page. And this will be the last game of the day, so I thank you all for watching. And until next time,